said that Alice didn't sustain that much injury to her heart or brain. They were keeping her heavily sedated to allow her body to heal as much as she could while they kept her under observation. Now that I have been weaning myself off this medication, this weird depression set in and I was feeling so unmotivated. I tried to use some other herbal supplements to see if that could help me out with my energy levels, but nothing worked. I was zapped. Shit, I grumbled to myself as I managed to crawl out the bed and make my way into the kitchen and fix myself a pot of coffee. That wasn't helping either, but it was doing a good job at least getting rid of the headaches I was experiencing from the withdrawing of this medication. All of this completely made sense now that I had the time to myself, and I really contemplate the last couple of years, especially these last 6 months. When I found out I had cancer, I scaled back on taking the medicine and my sex drive went out the window. However, as soon as I started taking that medication again, my leg twitching really got bad. It just so happened I started to feel like my old self again. No pun intended. After I fixed myself a cup of coffee, I sat down in my room and returned back to the dump on the couch. I turned on the television and flipped through the channels. Once I landed on one of these crazy court shows, I went into a daze. My mind filled with so many dreadful thoughts, and I really started to feel like I was really in my upper 70s. Oh Lord, this heavy feeling was just too much. As some minutes passed, I sat there with my eyes latched onto the television, but I wasn't paying attention at all. Everything just seemed like one big blur. Suddenly, a weird urge bubbled up in me. I had to take that medicine. I just wasn't feeling right. I needed it. It made me feel so different. All of a sudden, I got up from the couch and, like a zombie, walked back into my bedroom's bathroom and went through my medicine cabinet and pulled out the bottle of Mirapex. I popped the cap open and took a deep stare at the sea of pills. I was prescribed to take 2 a day, but I had it in me to double up. I was so damn drained that I probably needed the extra pills to get my energy levels immediately back up. Anxious, I tapped 4 pills in my left palm and stared at them for a moment. Then, without hesitation, I threw them back into my mouth and I swallowed them. I ran some cold water in my bathroom sink and cupped some water in my palm to splash wet palm to wash the pills down. Oh, my eyes keep watering. It's making me not be able to see. Hopefully these pills would kick in soon. I couldn't waste any more of my day lounging around the house, and I started to notice I was becoming very flabby. I needed to get into the fitness club ASAP, so I took my robe off and hopped in the shower. Some 20 minutes later, I was in my gym attire. By now, I was approaching 11 a.m. and made my way out the door. My phone started buzzing, and I whipped it out my purse, and I saw I got a text message from Sade. "Miss Bernetta, my mama is awake!" She texted me. My eyes beamed with excitement when I read her text message. Thank God! Clutched my chest. I wanted to suddenly burst with tears of joy. I quickly shot her a text, suddenly bust out. Ooh, hold on. I'm gonna get dehydrated by the time I'm done reading this. All my fucking hydration is coming out of my eyes. So I keep sniffling. Hold on, I'm gonna get something to drink real quick, guys. Pause. Pause. Potty break or something. Something like that. Get some water. Thank you for the hydrate. We back. My eyes stopped watering for literally like a second, but we gonna see what happens. Tekina. Hey Cardo. Konbanwa, konnichiwa. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the family. Also, everybody who came in that followed, welcome to the family. Welcome to Suki Nation. Once a week, we will be reading Thought Next Door. I'm gonna pop it back open so we can read the rest of the chapter. I'm working on my Bronco. It's a 1986 Bronco 2 XLT. And I had a BMW E28, but that story is going to be for later. Y'all are never gonna believe what happened. So I'm gonna wait for that news. I don't want to overwhelm y'all, but welcome. Sit on down. We are trying to get through this goddamn book. This book got so much shit going on, y'all. Like, it make me feel like we're never going to actually guess what goes on. I think Quan Mills has kind of like the same brain as me. He like to give it to you, but he like to take it to there. Okay. Where is she at? All right, we're back. Ready? Come through, Mugen. Okay, KT vibes. You better say thank you. Cause no ads for you, baby. Come through. Okay, let me stop playing. I threw my phone back in my pocketbook, then pulled out my keys as I strode up to Paulette. However, before I hopped in my car, I heard the rumbling of that green Charger parked near in my neighbor's driveway. The windows were completely tinted, so I couldn't make out if somebody was in the driver's seat or not. Since it was very cold out, it could have been that whoever my neighbor was had a remote ignition and started up their car while they're still inside the house. But then, just as soon as I was about to open up my car door and get in, the driver's side window of the Charger rolled down, and I saw what looked like an older chocolate woman sitting behind the steering wheel. They caught me by surprise. Damn it, child. I just knew that car belonged to a roughneck nigga in possession of a big dick. Hey, you my new neighbor! The woman shouted as she flashed a huge smile, revealing a mouthful of gold teeth. Now that really took me by surprise. Hey there, how are you? I smiled back as I waltzed over to the car. However, the closer I got, the more I realized this woman had to at least be in her late 60s, if not early 70s. Shit, she could have been my age. I'm Vernetta Washington, I said, extending my hand through her window. She reached her hand back out. I'm Rodessa. Nice to meet you, she exclaimed through a discernibly thick southern accent. She sounded like she was from Memphis. Maybe even Mississippi. I had to ask. I saw you just moved in a week or so ago. You from Chicago? Nah, from Memphis. Me and my husband just moved here not too long ago. Well, he's actually from Chicago. My assumption was confirmed. Rodessa and I continued to talk for a few more minutes. She told me her and her husband, Ricky, had owned a number of businesses back in Memphis. They wanted to change the scenery, so they sold them and decided to get into real estate flipping or something like that. Child, I had no idea what all of that even meant. I was just so caught up in the fact that this woman had a mouthful of gold teeth. Then the outfit she had on. Child, she was dressed like she was about to go on one of them hood nightclubs, on the south side. Although it wasn't extremely freezing. I wonder... My bad, I can't fucking turn the page. I wonder if this woman just knew exactly how cold it got in Chicago. She was dressed like we was in the middle of Atlanta winter. Child, you know, folks down south swore 40 degrees was cold. Hell, that's spring in Chicago. Anyways, Rhodessa's complexion was dark chocolate, but this woman had a voluptuous purple weave stitched into her head. To the top of it, her entire face was covered in the thickest makeup. Where the hell was she going? Had to be a strip club. Almost was certain. Woo child, the ghetto. Just like my granny used to say, capital G. Capital G in the ghetto. Get to toe. Yes, ma'am. Let's keep it going. So, yeah, Ricky and I have been flipping houses, like I said, quite some time now. She continued talking about the real estate and her other hustles. Speaking of which, where am I? Other hustles. Speaking of which, I wish this motherfucker would hurry up. She wore smacking her teeth. She started honking her car horn. Slow ass boy. Well, anyways, Rhodessa, it was nice to meet you. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the health club. I said trying to quickly best in the conversation. Oh, it was nice meeting you too, Vernetta. Maybe one day I can invite you over for some drinks and shit. My husband used to be a bartender. Maybe he can make some decent ass drinks, girl. Sure, why not? I said back to her, although if she was seriously going to invite me, I'd probably decline the invitation. She just seemed a little bit too hood for my liking. Now, I ain't got nothing against hood folks. Hell, I was born and raised in the ghetto, child. But as soon as I got married to Clarence, I moved the hell out and spent a good chunk of my life living around nothing but white folk. Granted, Rhodessa was much older and probably couldn't keep up no mess, but I was just floored to meet someone who was in my age range who was acting like they were much younger. Then again, who was I to judge? Hell, I pretty much had been doing the same thing. But hell, I was classy with mine. This chick just looked like she was just doing the most. Although it wasn't my business to ask exactly how old she was, I just knew from the wrinkles on the neck and those moles on the face that